After crossing into Naruto's world, I became a classmate of Naruto and Sasuke. But honestly, I was a mess. Because I know they're both prodigies. And me? I'm just the dead last with zero talent. That's all. But one day, I suddenly awakened the talent module system. Not only did I get the Otsutsuki bloodline, but I also unlocked the Tenseigan. From then on, I became the most gifted one of this era. At this moment, I just entered the Ninja Academy. I pulled up the light screen in my mind, looking at the talent modules about me on it. I can't help but fall into memories. I awakened the talent module system when I was 1. I could see bubbles around others, and also see the light screen in my head. The screen not only showed my personal info, but there was even a newbie gift pack. It lets me copy one talent module from anyone. At first, I wanted to use it on Naruto without hesitation. He's the MC of this world after all.
And he inherited the body of the Sage of Six Paths.
But just as I planned to find him, I suddenly thought of Otsutsuki Toneri, who's not from Earth, because he has pure Otsutsuki blood. That purity gave him the talent of the sage's body. Plus, he can evolve his Byakugan into the Tenseigan. Such insane talent and chakra makes him even more overpowered than Naruto and Sasuke. So I decided to use the gift pack on him, even though he lives on the moon.
I know.
He follows his dad to Konoha once as a kid. That was at Hinata's 3rd birthday party. So the first seized the chance and used my only copy module on him. Now, when I see the red Otsutsuki lineage info on my screen, I'm sure I did the right thing. Talent modules are ranked white, green, blue, purple, gold, red. But that's just my own ranking system. As for above red, I have no idea yet. Over the next 3 years, I not only leveled up my ninja potential to gold cage level, but also unlocked all attribute physique. And with the Otsutsuki bloodline, I even awakened the Byakugan. But before I could think much about it, I was already walking into the classroom. The classroom was full of new students my age. Most had family with them, but I was alone. I scanned the room, and in my sight, everyone had bubbles of different colors floating around. Ninja aptitude, white. Chakra control, green. I looked past the crowd and focused on a lonely girl, sitting alone in the middle of a long desk. The moment she saw me, there was a flash of surprise in her eyes she couldn't hide. I smiled a little, sat right down next to her. We meet again. I turned my head and looked at her. She's really something for running away from home. The entrance test was a breeze for you, huh? Izayo-kun. Chushin's face and ears turned beet red. She stared down, fidgeting with her fingers, not daring to meet my eyes. Guess we're desk buddies now. Nice to meet you, Chushin. Chushin glanced at me instinctively, then quickly looked away like she got shocked. She replied in a voice as quiet as a mosquito. Nice to meet you, Izayo-kun. He had no idea I was watching him right now, with a bit of heat in my eyes. All around him, 5 floating bubbles glowed brightly. On the dazzling red bubble in the center, it clearly said, Byakugan Princess, red. This is exactly why. Back at Hyuga Hizashi's funeral, I waited till she ran away from home, and got close to her on purpose. My Otsutsuki blood plus her Byakugan Princess. As long as we unite, I'm sure I'll fully awaken. Tenseigan? I rest my head on one hand, tapping my finger on the desk. Hinata is Hyuga clan's heiress, always guarded by protectors. It's almost impossible to get alone time with her. I need a flawless plan. As I was thinking, the classroom door opened again. I stopped tapping. My eyes went past Hinata and landed on 2 figures who just walked in. Naruto Uzumaki, Sasuke Uchiha. Right above their heads, there were bright red lights floating too. Sage body red. Sage eyes red. Looking at these 2 true children of destiny, I squinted a bit. The Otsutsuki chakra inside me seemed to surge with this fateful meeting and started going wild. Hello class. I'm Iruka Umino. I'll be your homeroom teacher. As the bell rang, a young guy in a green vest took the podium. Then it was time for intros. From the lively Eino Yamanaka to loudmouth Naruto shouting about being Hokage. Everyone's personality really came out when it was Hinata's turn. She quietly stammered, I'm Hinata Hyuga. Nice to meet you. So shy and timid. that if this wasn't the ninja world, she'd probably get bullied easily. Hey guys, I'm Izaiwa. I stood up and said my name calmly. Short intro, sure, but my pretty cute face still got glances from lots of girls. I could feel those hot stares from some mature girls and thought, wow, that's the Naruto world for you. When we got our textbooks, it really proved my point. Besides language and math, there was even biology and chemistry. More importantly, Iruka handed out a scroll about how to extract chakra, and seriously warned that if we couldn't extract chakra by the end of the trial period, we'd have to drop out. That freaked out a lot of civilian students. But I just looked around and knew they worried too much. Anyone who made it in, besides kids from ninja clans, still all had at least white rank aptitude. A bunch even had green Chunin potential. What caught my eye was Sakura Haruno, who only has green ninja potential, but her chakra control was at purple bloodline limit level. So unless fate totally changes for her, Chunin is her cap. But if she seizes a chance, she could rise fast. Just like Hinata, who has red Byakugan princess talent, but still only got to Jonin. First semester's classes were dull. Academics in the morning, athletics and shuriken practice in the afternoon. Since there was no taijutsu matches anytime soon, I stopped going to school in person. With the massive chakra from my Otsutsuki bloodline, my shadow clones last way longer, and can take a beating too, far beyond my peers. I had my shadow clone attend classes for me. My real self disguised as a young boy practiced wind release hard in the wild training ground. The fierce wind palm on the open ground. I pretended to form hand signs. Violent wind erupted from my palm. Yes, just pretending. The scary thing about the Otsutsuki bloodline is, aside from support jutsu, I don't even need hand signs to use 5 elemental ninjutsu. This isn't just broken talent. It's also a killer move to catch enemies off guard in future battles. Time flew by. The first semester ended in a flash. In these 3 months, I used my shadow clone to keep up a gentle persona in class. Became friends with everyone, especially Hinata. We're basically friends now. She knows. The one with her in class every day is just my shadow clone. Last day before break at noon. Rarely, I brought my real self and lunch to school. Sat with Hinata. Hinata, school's off tomorrow. What are you planning to do? I asked, sounding casual. Probably just train at home. Hinata shook her head, feeling down. Father won't let me go out freely. Ever since the kidnapping incident, he needs guards every time he leaves. Don't worry about that. I leaned close to her ear, whispered my plan. Remember, you need to be a bit proactive tomorrow. Otherwise, my plan will definitely be exposed. Feeling the warmth on her ear, Hinata's face instantly turned red. She can't even hold her chopsticks steady. Blankly nodded with an empty mind. Looking at her cute, clueless face, I flicked her forehead mercilessly. Repeated the plan again. Hinata rubbed her forehead. Her eyes finally sparkled with some light. The next day, summer break officially started. I transformed into Aino Yamanaka's appearance. Walked right up to the Hyuga clan gates. Hey, I'm Aino Yamanaka. Here to invite Hinata out to play. We agreed yesterday. I flashed the guard a sweet smile. The plan went surprisingly well. As the young lady of the Yamanaka clan, Aino's status is high enough. Soon Hinata ran out. As soon as we left the Hyuga compound, Hinata's voice trembled with excitement. 16 nights, this is awesome. We did it. Stay calm and careful. We still have guards following. I reminded her with a smile. Led her straight to the wild training ground. After making sure no one's tailing us, I dispelled my transformation. Today, I'm going to teach you a technique. I looked at Hinata seriously. Once you get this, you can practice at home after you go back. When your dad sees your progress, he should stop holding you back. If I want to trigger Hinata's red talent, I have to spend more time alone with her. She needs to prove her worth to her clan first. I walked to a big tree, formed the hand sign with both hands, gathered chakra at my feet. Hinata watched in shock. I stepped onto the tree trunk with both feet, body parallel to the ground, walking up the tree like it was flat ground. This is called walking up a tree with chakra. It's a great way to improve chakra control. Standing on the trunk, I looked down at her. Once you master this, things like clone technique or shadow clone jutsu, will be easy for you. Can I really learn this? Hinata was still unsure. Don't doubt yourself. You're the Hyuga clan's princess. I jumped off the tree, patted her shoulder. Go try it. Don't worry about falling. I'll catch you. I paused, half joking in my tone. If you fall too far behind, I'm not waiting for you. That line hit Hinata's soft spot. She nodded firmly. Seeing her determined eyes, I knew step one of the plan was done. She stood under the thick trunk, formed another hand sign. Chakra glowed at her feet. She took a deep breath, tentatively put her right foot on the tree bark. Her foot stuck firmly, almost like glue. Her tense face relaxed. Then her left foot followed. Step 1. Step 2. Her body hovered lightly in midair, but as she took the third step, her face suddenly changed. Chakra at her feet scattered instantly. She fell straight toward the ground. I opened my arms, caught her steadily in my embrace. 16 nights. She hung her head low, full of self-blame. Gripping the trunk with chakra on your first try. That's already amazing. I set her down gently, patted her shoulder. Go ahead, don't worry about falling. I'll catch you. The encouraged girl nodded hard, formed another hand sign and stepped on the tree. This time she made it to step 8 steadily. Only then lost balance again. Surprisingly, she didn't scream this time. Her closed eyes even showed a bit of anticipation. I scooped her up princess style, looked into her eyes and praised. Only your second try, and you made it so far. Hinata, you're a genius. She finally smiled. Her joy shone in her eyes like never before. The confident Byakugan princess finally showed her true elite bloodline talent. On the 4th attempt, she reached the top like it was nothing. Seeing her waving excitedly on the tree crown, I nodded with a smile, then revealed my real purpose. Nice job. Next, let me test. The Hyuga clan's gentle fist. Hinata nodded obediently, totally unaware of how tough the next training would be. The whole long summer break, I kept up my Aino transformation, openly brought Hinata to the training ground. Every taijutsu duel, I knocked her down without mercy, then healed her with top-notch medical ninjutsu. Extreme high-pressure training, mixed with gentle support. Hinata shed all her old timidness. Her moves got quicker and sharper. Chakra points hit with accuracy and fierceness. Even the Hyuga clan leader, secretly watching, saw his daughter's amazing transformation and quietly allowed our meetings. In this one-sided intense training, I gained a lot too. I completely mastered the Hyuga clan's gentle fist secrets. Also from Hinata, extracted 2 talent traits. Blue trait, chakra control, and purple trait, bloodline offering Byakugan. I knew just fusing. Ordinary Byakugan can't touch the Tenseigan threshold. So I quickly dismantled the purple Byakugan trait, with over 1,000 points credited. I opened up the screen in my mind. I tapped the blue chakra without hesitation. Controlled the upgrade plus button. 999 points vanished instantly. Blue light on the entry suddenly exploded and transformed into brilliant purple. At that moment, I clearly felt chakra flowing inside me. It's smooth and easy to control. I got purple level control power. All advanced jutsu. For me, it's just about the amount of chakra. September 1st, as the early autumn breeze blew, ninja school started the 2nd semester. To unlock more entries, I finally showed up in class myself. During the afternoon taijutsu match, I directly asked Iruka, "Teacher, can I fight Sasuke Uchiha?" Iruka turned me down, saying I need to adapt to random battles. He rejected me right then. After school, the sunset by the Naka River stretched the shadows. I stopped Sasuke, who was about to run home. "Sasuke, let's spar." "Not interested. I need to train with my brother." Sasuke, who hadn't experienced the night of the massacre yet, only had admiration for his brother in his eyes. He refused without any hesitation. I ran off, watched his figure disappear down the street. I squinted at him. "All right, enjoy peace for a few months. Next year, when the bloody night comes, you'll become an avenger. Then you won't ever refuse any chance to become stronger." I slowly turned around, looked across the empty playground, at those classmates packing up their bags. In my vision, above every one of their heads, there were floating white and green glow bubbles. If I defeat them, These entries will become my stepping stones. I twisted my wrist. My finger bones cracked. The real hunt is just starting. Year 54, December 21st. Heavy snow fell. The second semester quietly ended. This half year of taijutsu classes made these first graders lose their naivety, but also brought bullying to the school. Geniuses like Sasuke and Naruto are always easy targets for jealousy. And this jealousy usually hurts the weak around them. After the snow stopped, Hinata wore the white snowman set I picked for him. Her ponytails reached her shoulders. She ran out of her clan land like always, and came outside the ninja school, waiting for me on the open ground. What she didn't know, danger was getting closer.
Hey, is that guy Neiji's clan?
The Bigugan freak definitely didn't escape. Let's teach him a lesson. 3 upperclassmen surrounded Chushan with evil grins. One even reached out to force him. Kneel and apologize. Faced with this sudden malice, Chushan didn't shake in fear like in the original story. His eyes turned cold. Wearing white gloves, his hand shot out. Index and middle fingers pressed together, moved faster than anyone could react, and poked at the boy's chest. A cry of pain rang out. The boy collapsed in the snow, suffering. Hinata didn't stop. Her moves were fast like afterimages. She landed 2 precise hits. The other 2 boys screamed and fell too. No extra words. No chakra used. Just finger strength and precise attacks. Made those bullies cry. They ran off in panic. Hinata, you looked awesome just now. I walked out from behind the tree, clapped for her with a smile. Watching Hinata, soft outside but tough inside, react by instinct, I felt proud. After half a year of extreme training, I succeeded in changing the fate of the Byokugan princess. Come on, let's go train at our spot. In the abandoned training field, heavy strikes echoed nonstop. To train Hinata, with chakra control that can strike through distance, I made her wear the thick snowman suit and sparred with her. After perfectly blocking her attacks, I knocked her away without mercy. Sometimes I would act exposed on purpose, so she could feel the thrill of landing chakra into me. This high-pressure training that bounced between pain and achievement pushed Hinata's combat skills way up. Her real fighting improved fast. After training, I healed her with basic medical ninjutsu, and then took her fishing and grilling. I found Hinata had the same crazy appetite as in the anime. A huge stomach. Big meals meant insane digestion, which turns into tons of energy. And chakra, to raise her future power limit. I always prepared tons of food. Let her eat all she wants. Time flew by. Winter break ended. Year 55, spring semester started. With March finals coming up, I started using my real self for classes, so I could openly take Hinata out. I have to get the top student rank to prove my worth to all ninja clans. With my power now, that's way too easy. Also, I know how dangerous Konoha is this year. That 13-year-old kid, Itachi Uchiha, is about to massacre. And the masked men might sneak into the village anytime to keep Hinata's Byakugan safe. I have to be careful. Stopped outdoor training for now. March 20th, the finals arrived. Izayo-kun, good luck. Hinata, who got to class early and saw I was really there, had eager eyes. Let's aim for first and second place. Let's do our best. I smiled back. Now Hinata has enough strength and ambition to fight for second. The morning class and afternoon shuriken throwing were easy for both of us. As long as Hinata doesn't face me in taijutsu, second place will be hers. No question. On the playground, Iruka announced the matchups loudly with the list. Set up the next round. Izayo versus Naruto Uzumaki. When he heard his name, Naruto Uzumaki in the crowd clutched his head in despair. Why is it Izayo? I'm doomed. I slowly squinted my eyes. Finally, I get to face the child of destiny with 9 tails inside. Matching with Naruto made me super excited. I couldn't hide my excitement. But before this, some kind of fate seemed to block me. In 10 matches, half of them ended up being Naruto versus Sasuke. I just couldn't get to him. Otsutsuki bloodline red. Although it gave me chakra as massive as Seiji's body, if I can't unlock Naruto's traits soon, it'll still be a regret, holding back my excitement. I walked to the center of the arena. looking at Naruto across from me, tense and focused. I raised my index and middle fingers, smiled and said, Naruto, let's do our best. Naruto froze for a second. His tense nerves relaxed immediately. In this village full of cold stares, he seemed to feel my sincere goodwill. He nodded hard. His gaze grew determined. Let's do our best. Round 7, begin. Iruka-sensei gave the order. Naruto's attacks were simple and straightforward. He threw a wild punch my way. But with my Otsutsuki bloodline and enhanced perception, in the blink of an eye, I'd already predicted all his moves. I stepped aside a bit, blocked his punch easily with the back of my left hand. At the same time, my right fist shot out like a snake, landing clean on his left cheek. A dull thud filled the air. Naruto fell to the ground. But unlike others, he didn't give up easily. He got up and charged again. I didn't hold back, though I pulled my punches and kicks. I still caught every opening he showed. Soon Naruto's clothes were filthy, his face covered in bruises. But even getting beat one-sidedly, he kept going without a word. In fact, he got even more focused, learning from the fight as it went on, trying to change up his wild style. Is this how the child of destiny grows under pressure? Seeing a fatal weakness, I decided to end it. Quick step, crouching low. A neat sweep took him down. My fist halted just above his nose. An inch from the Uzumaki mark. Naruto can't fight anymore. Winner, Izayoi. Right as Iruka announced the result, the purple bubble around Naruto suddenly burst. A streak of purple light shot into me. Right after, a new transparent bubble formed next to him. In cooldown mode, I suppressed the urge to check my panel and reached out to the panting Naruto. Genuinely smiled at him. Naruto, you did awesome. Let's have a rematch next time. Naruto was stunned for a second. Then he grinned wide, grabbed my hand and stood up. Izayoi, you're really good, but next time I definitely won't lose. We smiled at each other and made the sign of reconciliation. Went back to the group. I instantly pulled up my interface. The notification sound I'd been waiting for finally played. Ding! You obtained the talent trait, Uzumaki Bloodline Fusion. I chose Decompose, then fused without hesitation. Didn't get the Red Sage's body trait, but the Uzumaki Bloodline is just as awesome. Now I have a shot at awakening Kagura Mind, Adamantine Sealing Chains, and Healing. These 3 top-tier support abilities. In the following months, I secured the top spot in our grade, with perfect scores in every subject. And thanks to my coaching, Hinata got insanely better in real combat, overtaking Sasuke Uchiha as no. 2 in our grade. When we checked the results on the board, Hinata grinned, eyes almost shut. She finally proved her worth to her dad, and won the freedom to go out as she liked. After starting 2nd grade, the classes were still boring. I sent a shadow clone to attend classes again, while my main body stayed home. Using the Otsutsuki signature jutsu-free talent and purple chakra control, I managed to master Rasengan in just 1 week. That's just the first step in developing my new jutsu, Super Tempest, and Rasengan combo. But before all that, I have to wait patiently for a major event that will shake the ninja world, and the chance to test my jutsus freely outdoors. Konoha, May 5th, 10th, year 55. At dusk, my shadow clone stood at the school gate, quietly watching Sasuke Uchiha as he hurried off towards the Naka River. The sunset in the sky was blood red, and a pale full moon was slowly rising. I knew after tonight, that proud, pretty cheerful Sasuke would be gone for good, to be replaced by someone with an icy air of vengeance. Sasuke Uchiha desperately craving power. The next morning, a news so shocking it might quake the ninja world spread all over Konoha, like it had wings. Uchiha clan, Konoha's top family, was wiped out overnight by the clan leader's eldest son, Itachi Uchiha, just 13 years old. Spies from the big villages hid all over Konoha. The Uchiha, with 1,000 years of history, were wiped out in a single night by 13-year-old Itachi Uchiha. This is a seriously deep well, but it gave me the perfect cover. A week later, Sasuke came back to class, bewitched by Mengekyo. He was like a broken, icy blade. The girls who used to crowd around him were all scared off by his aura. No one dared get close. Now this wounded right hand only bows to pure strength. After school,
He walked straight up to me.
Izayo, wanna fight? I saw the mix of weakness and stubbornness in his eyes, and smirked, acting surprised. Back then, you didn't care to challenge me. Why now? Changed your mind? Cut the crap. Scared you'll lose? He taunted coldly. He badly needed to beat me, the top student, to prove the Uchiha's pride. I took him to an abandoned training ground nearby. Looking at the scorched earth from all the jutsu, Sasuke's eyes shrank. He finally got it. It wasn't luck that let me beat him. It was non-stop, brutal training. Still a no-rules fight? I asked. No rules? He didn't hesitate. Inside, I was thrilled. Only a fight to the death at 100% has a shot at triggering high-tier traits. We moved back and made the seal of confrontation. In a flash, Sasuke charged at me. I sidestepped, whipped my left leg at his face. He blocked in a hurry, but lost his balance and fell right into my combo attack, swinging both arms wide. My fists rained down, tearing through his defense like a storm.
He staggers back again and again.
He can't fight back at all. Finally, I spot an opening. A sharp spin kick sends him flying. Sasuke crashes to the ground, gasping hard. His face twists, wild and crazed. He clearly mistakes me for Uchiha Itachi. Uchiha Itachi, I swear I'll kill you. Fire style, great fireball jutsu. A massive blazing fireball slices through the air, roaring as it rockets at me. I can't help but reflect. I exhale sharply. Wind style, wind cutter jutsu. A fierce clear blade howls out. It slices through the fireball like a hot knife through butter. The ripple tears Sasuke's collar wide open. Blood sprays everywhere. He screams and slams to the ground. Knocked out cold. I walk over. My palm glows. Healing chakra covers his wound. Suddenly, a sharp crack explodes in my ear. I snap my eyes up. In the aura around Sasuke, a brilliant red bubble bursts open. A beam of red light shoots right at my forehead. It's red? You unlock the Sage's Eye talent. Red Fusion O Decompose Fusion. I fight down the urge to grin like crazy. First deadly battle. And I just triggered Indra's ultimate power. Right now, I've evolved into another Otsutsuki Indra. Soon Sasuke slowly wakes up. He touches the faint scar on his chest. The gloom in his eyes fades, replaced by real respect. I lost, he admits through gritted teeth. I pat him on the shoulder, reach out to help him up. You're strong too. I thought I was the only one in class who mastered all 5 elements. Guess I got lucky today. We'll fight again next time. He stares at my easy smile. His guard finally drops. He grips my hand tight. We make the sign of reconciliation. Next time I won't lose. Meanwhile, inside the Hokage's office, 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen watches all this through his crystal ball and exhales a thick cloud of smoke. Smiles in relief. The new leaves are starting to grow. Konoha, July 23rd, year 57. Inside the Hyuga clan's dojo, sharp clashes echo nonstop. Waves of energy ripple out. 10-year-old Hinata faces Hyuga Naji, locked in a fierce taijutsu match. Both have blue chakra flames swirling at their fingertips. Every hit hides a threat. After dozens of rounds, the stalemate finally breaks. Smack, Chushen's eyes sharpen. He seizes on Neji's momentary opening. His fingers move like the wind, and strikes Neji's chakra point dead on. Neji's chakra scatters instantly. Then, Chushen pours on the blows, fast as a storm. A smooth combo of strikes ends the bout. Chushen relaxes his stance and softly calls, Neji, big brother. Thanks for the match. Far off, a Hyuga clan elder's eyes well with pride. But he quickly puts on a stern face and tells the fallen Neji to go get treatment. Yes, clan chief. Neji lowers his head, hiding his frustration, and walks away. This isn't the first time Chushen's beaten Neji. Over the past 6 months, he's been leveling up at a crushing pace. With purple chakra control and non-stop tough training, he fully secured his spot as the main heir. After the test ends, Hinata grabs her 3-year-old sister Hanabi and happily runs out of the grounds. To look for me, big bro. I want to ride on your shoulders. Little Hanabi throws herself into my arms. Through my eyes, lavish golden talents float around little Hanabi. The brightest is Princess of the Golden Byakugan. Her potential is nearly Hinata level. I laugh and lift Hanabi high, letting her ride on my shoulders, and head out with Hinata. ever since Hinata's mom passed. It's always been the three of us. Hinata doesn't want her sister to struggle like she did, so she brings her to find me whenever she can. After sending the sisters home, my shadow clone is behind the falls at Naka River, doing some secret training. After 2 years, I finally finished stage 1 of the Super Hurricane Sphere, keeping Rasengan huge without it breaking apart. That's on par with the giant. Rasengan's chakra and spinning speed, without purple chakra control, would be impossible to pull off. My ultimate aim is, inside this giant energy ball, to mix in 5. Inject small Rasengan orbs of 5 elements. If I succeed, it'll be the ultimate move beyond S rank. Time flies. Konoha, late March, year 60. Our special new generation
Is finally graduating.
16-ya-kun. Wake up, today's the graduation test. A gentle voice wakes me up. I open my eyes, no chubby cheeks left. Hinata's all grown up now. She leans over me. Her long hair falls like a waterfall. Her Byakugan glows faint purple. I can't help but grin. Hinata, did you get taller again? Then she realizes how suggestive her pose is. She yelps, face blushing red as she grabs her collar and dashes out. 16-ya-kun, go wash up. I brought breakfast. I grin and head to the bathroom. The boy in the mirror has sharp features, deep blue eyes that, when I focus, instantly turn pure white, also glowing faint purple.
And
My temples don't bulge with veins anymore. I squint a little and summon up my stat screen. Host, 16-ya, talent strips. Osutsuki bloodline, red tier. Sage's eye, red. Byakugan prince, red. 6 paths aptitude, red. Bloodline sacrifice. Byakugan, gold. Chakra control, gold. Uzumaki bloodline. All attributes body, medical genius, blue. Ninja for 6 years. My stats are insanely stacked. 4 top-level red talent strips. Make me a monster with insane defense. An unlimited chakra. But more importantly, 2 years ago, after Hinata triggered Byakugan Prince, my Byakugan, powered by tons of yin chakra, now has a ridiculous 80-kilometer range and has leveled up to gold. I touch the corner of my right eye, feeling a tingling deep in my socket. Soon I mutter, first eye awakening is coming. Owning both Sage's Eye and Byakugan Prince, my Tenseigan awakening speed will totally surpass Toneri on the moon. Didn't we talk about it yesterday? Today's the test. It won't be long. No need to bring me food. I turned off my Byakugan and walked out of the room. At the dining table, Hinata had already set out a beautiful lunchbox. I was polite with my words, but my body honestly sat down right away. I dug in heartily. I wasn't going to make one myself. Hinata laughed softly and explained, but Hanabi woke up even earlier than me. She made a special exam luck lunch for you. I looked at the lunchbox, with the seaweed rice balls decorated with shredded radish. My appetite soared. My little sister-in-law really cares for me. Hinata naturally opened the fridge and poured us each a glass of milk. She did it all so smoothly, like it was her own home. Honestly, it pretty much is. I've never been inside the Hyuga compound, but Hinata and Hanabi have treated this place like a second home for years. Even have a spare key. After breakfast, Hinata and I walked to school, side by side. In these 6 years, I've grown to 163 cm, with most students only about 150 cm. I totally stand out. Right next to me, Hinata, with her big appetite and intense training, has hit 150 centimeters too. Even in a loose coat, you can't hide her impressive figure. Izayo and Hinata, good morning. Still inseparable, huh? Passing classmates teased us. Hinata lowered her head shyly, her cheeks turning red. As one of only 2 real combat bosses in school, the other is me. Her taijutsu skills make everyone nervous. Because of that popularity, she's become my natural shield, keeping away tons of admirers for me. We got to the classroom. The mood was way heavier than usual. Even Naruto, who's always goofing around, was sitting quietly today. After all, today's the graduation exam. Page 16, soon it was my turn. I opened the door at the end of the hallway to the exam room. Iruka and Mizuki sat behind a long table. Let's start, Iruka said with a warm smile. Okay. I formed a hand sign and did the clone jutsu. Poof! Poof! The smoke cleared away. 2 clones, clothes and all, looked perfectly identical to me. They stood right by my side. Iruka and Mizuki exchanged a glance and nodded in satisfaction. They handed me a Genin headband. Perfect transformation. Congrats. You're officially a Genin now. I tied the headband to my left arm and walked out of the building. Hinata and the others who passed the test were already gathered on the field. Page 16, let's spar later. Sasuke walked up, eyes burning with excitement. These years I've pretty much beaten him every week.
Taken all his skills.
And Uchiha jutsu scrolls. Now, he awakened his Sharingan during the tragedy. His power's way up. Not now. I shook my head with a smile. Let's wait until team assignments. And after some training with our Jonin sensei, then we can see how much we've both grown. Sasuke thought for a moment, held back his fighting spirit, and nodded. After taking our profile photos, we walked out of the school gate. Parents waited outside, crowded and eager. Sasuke watched all this. His eyes grew dim. He vanished like a shadow. Meanwhile, I got cheers just for me. Big sis. Over here. Wearing a yellow-brown kimono. Little Hanabi with waist-length hair, waving hard in the crowd. She's 7. Already looking like a porcelain doll. Developing fast. Almost as tall as Hinata. I smiled and crouched down. Steadily caught Hanabi as she jumped at me. Big sis, is this a scary forehead protector? She curiously touched the metal plate on my arm, then casually made a request. Let's celebrate with a hot pot today. I want to ride on your shoulders. Hanabi, you're a big girl now. Don't do this anymore. Blushing, scolded her. No problem, but I still lifted Hanabi up. Even if you get as tall as me, I'll let you ride up high. Hitten sighed helplessly, but his eyes were full of affection. The 3 of us laughed and headed to the market. I knew, high up in the trees, Hyuga clan guards were watching quietly. A silent understanding between me and Hayashi Hyuga. He handles the strict side. I handle spoiling them. At night, after dinner, the 3 of us curled up on the sofa. Hitten naturally leaned his head on my shoulder. Hey, Izai-kun. Looks like only Naruto hasn't graduated from our class. Yeah, I played with Hanabi's braid. Answered casually.
His chakra control is awful.
His bookwork is a mess too. Failing might be good for him. Hinata nodded in agreement. But neither he nor sleepy Hanabi in my arms. Noticed the curve of my lips as I spoke. A subtle smile. Not passing. That's just when fate starts turning. Morning. I woke up to Hinata's gentle call. Opening my eyes, her delicate face was right there, grown out of her childish look. Her silky waist-length hair flowed down. A pale glow in her Byagudin eyes, tinted with soft purple light. I suddenly rolled over, pinning her beneath me, hands propped by her ears, looking down from above. Hey, Izayo-kun. Hinata's face turned bright red, steam almost rising from her head. She was too flustered to look me in the eye. Seeing her adorable look, I couldn't help but kiss her forehead, then quickly got up to wash up, leaving her dazed and dizzy. My custom pure white robe from last spring, tied with a black belt, wide sleeves, where I hid a white storage wristband full of ninja tools. When I left my room, Hinata sitting at the table, her eyes sparkled, her heart pounding again. The white robe completely erased my orphan look, added a noble, cool vibe. Tried Hanabi's special exam lunchbox. Walked side by side with Hinata to ninja school. 6 years have passed. I've grown to 5 feet 4, standing out among my peers. Hinata next to me was an impressive 4 feet 11. Her loose white coat couldn't hide her enviable figure. Hinata on page 16. Morning, hope you guys end up in the same team. Passing classmates teased us. I just smiled. Hinata lowered her head shyly. Everyone knows we're always together. Plus, we're top 2 in the grade. That invisible pressure already scared off the bees and butterflies that wanted to chase me. We arrived at the busy classroom, picked a random seat. Hadn't even spoken yet. Someone everyone noticed sat beside me. Morning, Sasuke. I greeted him. Morning, Uchiha. Sasuke looked at me, a hint of expectation in his eyes. Class sorting soon. Hope we get on the same squad. I shook my head with a smile. I'd like that, but the top 3 never get grouped together. Otherwise, in Chunin exams, other squads wouldn't stand a chance. Sasuke sighed, a bit disappointed, rested his chin on his hands. Just then, a flash of bright orange entered my sight. Naruto. He squatted right on Sasuke's desk, leaned in close to Sasuke, those blue eyes just like mine, squinting tight, staring hard at him. Sasuke kept his face cold, showing no attempt to hide his dislike. Watching this fated showdown, I couldn't help but smile. The show's about to start. Naruto's so rude. Sasuke, take him down. Girls nearby got excited, but next second, the boy in front of Sasuke was chatting away. Suddenly bumped his elbow back. Naruto, totally off guard, got pushed forward by the hit, fell right into Sasuke. Both their eyes went wide. Girls stared in shock. Naruto and Sasuke's lips pressed together. I barely held back my whistling. Hitten was so shocked his hands covered his mouth. A few seconds later, both jumped apart like lightning, kneeling, dry heaving like crazy. Dead last, I'll kill you. Sasuke yelled with fury, but didn't get his chance. Suddenly, Naruto was covered in shadow. Led by Sakura, the girls went wild. They yanked Naruto off the desk, dragged him under the podium, and gave him a brutal beatdown. Spare me, mist filled the air. Naruto's miserable begging echoed in the room, but I just watched coldly, waiting quietly for that fate-deciding name to be called. Everyone, back to your seats. Class sorting is about to start. Iruka-sensei's voice ended all the chaos. Girls grudgingly went back to their seats. Naruto sat behind me, head full of bumps, looking miserable. The classroom quieted down. Everyone held their breath.
Congrats, you all graduated. Iruka
Looked around with pride at the students he taught 6 years. Now, time to sort into teams. Groups of 3. Follow your squad leader. First squad, as names were called. Girls kept sighing in disappointment. They didn't get grouped with Sasuke, and lost hope of teaming with me, the top student. Weak hope gone.
Team 6, Kiba Inuzuka, Shino Aburame, Hinata Hyuga.
Hearing the lineup, my eyes flashed gold. As expected, third Hokage made his choice. He gave up on the Inuzuka clan. Decided to invest in me, the orphan with no background. Top pick moved by Hayashi Hyuga behind the scenes. Plus the potential I'd shown. This is what led to the final decision. Team 7? Sakura Haruno Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto jumped up excitedly. Sakura looked totally lifeless. But the next name brought him back to life. Sasuke Uchiha. Sakura raised her hands in excitement. She shot a taunting look at Aino. All she got were eye rolls and gritted teeth. Team 8. Minako Zinahara Atiae. Minako, who sits in front of me. She pumped her fist with excitement. That got her quite a few jealous looks. Team selection is over. People started showing up on Naoshima and took their own teams away. A curvy woman with a bold figure, long black wavy hair and red eyes, appeared at the door. Team 8, come out. I'm your Jonin instructor. Kurenai said goodbye to Naruto and Sasuke. I left the classroom with Minako and Zinahara. Alton watched my back as I left. A hint of sadness flashed in his eyes, but he quickly hid it. Kurenai brought us to the outdoor training field. My name is Kurenai. I'm good at genjutsu. After a short intro, he glanced at the 3 of us. Now, it's your turn. I spoke calmly. Uchiha is good at ninjutsu. Knows some medical and sensing skills. Loves to train. Dreams of being a great ninja. Minako and Zinahara also gave quick introductions. Kurenai nodded. I saw a flash of gold in his eyes. All right, tomorrow at 9 a.m., same place. We're having a survival drill. It's a capture the flag game. Your opponent is me. After that, he vanished into thin air.
Ichiai.
What should we do? Minako asked, a bit nervous. I leaned on a stump, keeping cool. Kurenai is testing our info-gathering skills and our teamwork. She did say she's good at genjutsu. Plus, we're given a day to prep. She wants us to come up with a strategy. I waved them over, signaled them to come closer. Let's all share our info. Next morning at 8:30, the 3 of us waited at the training field. Kurenai showed up right at 9. Your mission is to get these 3 bells from me in an hour. She tied the bells around her waist. Set the timer. Let's start. As soon as she finished, the 3 of us vanished on the spot. Kurenai stood in the clearing, confident, waiting for us to make a move. From her point of view, No matter how sharp new graduates are, there's no way they'd beat a genjutsu master. No real threat. But the next second, her eyes suddenly shrank. Wind style, great breakthrough. I jumped down from a big tree behind her. Quick-handed hand signs. A wild gust packed with leaves, like a roaring beast, rushed right at her. This isn't something a regular genin could do. That's a C-rank jutsu. With the massive chakra from my Otsutsuki lineage, this hurricane technique is enough to make any careless jonin pay the price. What a powerful combo move. Looks like the top 3 are hiding their real strength. Hiding in the tree, Yushinoa whispers to herself. She uses the morning mist as cover, quietly releasing a swarm of tiny kikiku insects. The wind helps carry them closer to Red Sensei, trying to take the bell by surprise. But Red Sensei, a sensory-type jonin, already activated his senses the moment the mist hit.
He started detecting right away.
Boom, a muffled sound comes from the mist. The smoke clears, leaving only a replacement log surrounded by bugs. Substitution jutsu. None of us are surprised. Not at all surprised. Hinata already activated her Bokugen. Veins bulge at her temples. In her black and white vision, Chino is hidden in the tree. Red Sensei slips into the woods under cover of smoke. And I rush straight at Red like an afterimage. Nothing escapes Hinata's eyes, watching me close in on Red. The corner of my mouth draws a confident smile. I pull out a cloth, signal at Chinoa, then head into the woods. Meanwhile, deep in the forest, you hear metal clashing fast. Clang, clang, clang. I grip my kunai backwards and engage Red Sensei in close combat. Every attack aims for his vital spots, so fast that even this seasoned jonin can only defend against me. At first, Red stays calm, but soon his eyes widen in shock.
He gasps.
No way. I smirk, knowing why he's shocked. A second later, poof, I vanish into white smoke. Almost at the same time, 3 voices shout from different directions in the woods. Fire style, great dragon flame. 3 giant fire dragons roar, sealing Red tightly in place. With no escape, he quickly forms hand signs. Water style, water shockwave. Water meets fire, and a huge blast of steam and deafening noise erupts. White steam fills the air. Red Sensei stumbles out from the steam, then suddenly freezes. Jingle jingle, the bell rings crisply in the breeze. The 3 of us step out of the woods. I dangle the bell with a smile. Red Sensei, do we pass? Red looks at our spotless uniforms, then looks at his own messy self. Instead of being upset, he actually laughs. Powerful skills. Perfect teamwork. Looks like teacher lost. Because a ninja's fight is a battle of intelligence. I seriously shake my head. We could only win. All thanks to you for telling us you specialize in genjutsu ahead of time. If this was a real life and death fight, there's no way it would have been so easy. It's thanks to you holding back. Hearing that, Chushin looks at me with admiration. Even Chunin is secretly thinking, so that's how you flatter a teacher. No wonder you're top of the class. Red Sensei is totally delighted. He waves big and says, let's celebrate Team 8's formation. I'm treating you all to a feast. On the way to the main street, Red Sensei can't hold back and asks, Izanagi, how did your shadow clone break my genjutsu? I play mysterious, putting my finger to my lips. A man with secrets is more charming. Red Sensei. Then I wink at Hinata, making her blush instantly. You little brat. Wait till you're 20 and can drink with me, then we'll talk. Red Sensei rolls his eyes. But deep inside, he's got a whole new level of respect for me. Now he gets why I'm number 1. Top of the class, no doubt. What he doesn't know is, the reason I can ignore genjutsu is not just the power of my sage eye, or my yin chakra, but mainly my Otsutsuki bloodline, which gives me jutsu with no hand signs. I don't even need to form seals to mess up my chakra flow, because I'm the ultimate counter to all genjutsu. In the next 2 weeks, I experienced my Tenseigan awakening for the first time. During that half month, I was basically blind. But Hinata took amazing care of me, from every meal to helping me wash. She even sent her shadow clone to do missions for me. For her, getting to look after me openly was even better than training. Finally, 2 weeks later, my world was bright again. Izanagi-kun, your eyes? Hinata stared at me, and gasped. They're beautiful even in this dim room. My eyes glowed sky blue. Elegant white patterns circled my pupils, like shining nebulas. This isn't a Rinnegan, not a Sharingan, and definitely not a Rugen. It's a Tenseigan. Such powerful ocular power. I raise my hand and touch my eye corner. With the Tenseigan's farsight ability, I instantly see past houses and streets. Even the whole Hidden Leaf village. It's like a god's eye view over the land of fire. 80 kilometers of Byakugan vision is nothing compared to this. Even better, my X-ray vision isn't just black and white anymore. I still see bones, meridians, and chakra. But at least now I know. I've reached the threshold of supreme dojutsu. Izanagi-kun, what powers do you have now? Hinata asks curiously. My powers? I hold up my palm, pointed at Hinata gravity. Hinata lets out a surprised cry. Her body floating up instantly, flying right towards me. Whoops, I used too much force. And she crashes straight into my arms. We tumble into a ball. Then I pick her up as I stand. Point at an empty vase in the corner. Smash. The vase shatters. The shards float mid-air. Then, controlled perfectly, they line up and glide into the trash can. Wow, that's amazing. Hinata is totally stunned. I can't help but grin. I open the talent screen and select blood sacrifice. Tenseigan is just the first. Awakening, and already it replaced Otsutsuki bloodline. As my top trait, the real godly eye has finally awakened. My Tenseigan powers are super stable, and they won't regress as long as I have enough chakra. That makes me feel secure. To have such divine power at just 12, even though my body is still young. By 15, when my potential peaks, I'll have strength no mortal could ever reach. When I returned to the team, Chinoa's bugs went wild with fright, and he looked at me in shock. Even Red Sensei was really curious about my new jutsu. But I just replied, a secret makes a man more charming. That shut him up, and made him roll his eyes again. The boring D-rank chores dragged on until May. Finally, Miss Hong made an announcement. Given Team 8's great performance, she broke the rules and let us take a C-rank mission. Inside the Hokage's office, Hiruzen Sarutobi looked me and Hinata up and down since we were way taller than other kids our age. His gaze was deep. In the end, he assigned just one mission, to escort the Iron Mine convoy to the Land of Rivers. At the village gate, Mr. Nishimura stared at Hinata's Byakugan, barely able to hide the joy on his face. C-rank missions pay well, and hiring a Hyuga main house member as a censor was a huge win for him. The convoy crawled along for 8 days, finally leaving the Hokage's territory. We entered a winding mountain road. Hinata, how's it looking around us? Miss Hong asked seriously. Hinata activated her Byakugan. The veins around her eyes bulged. No danger within a 20-kilometer radius. What? Miss Hong and Chino blurted out together. Byakugan usually only senses a few kilometers. Hinata actually reached 20 kilometers. That means she's already surpassed Hayashi Hyuga. I found it funny. These years I've used Uzumaki bloodline healing to restore and nurture her body every day. Her Byakugan's potential has been fully activated. Miss Hong hid her shock and solemnly warned Hinata to hide her abilities. Sensor ranged like that, if exposed, would definitely attract deadly trouble. We traveled 2 more smooth days. The convoy struggled along the steep mountain road. At one point, Hinata, who's been scanning the area, suddenly went pale. She cried out, "Everybody stop!" The whole convoy froze. 17 kilometers ahead, there are 2 mysterious people. Their chakra is much stronger than Miss Hong's. Hinata's voice trembled with fear. Miss Hong's eyes widened sharply. Any details? They're wearing cloaks and straw hats. One's crawling low like a scorpion. The other is riding a giant bird, circling low in the air. That's Akatsuki's Sasori of the Red Sand and Dedara. Why are those 2 even here? Miss Hong decided instantly. Ordered the team to turn around and change routes immediately. There are S-rank rogues up ahead. Mr. Nishimura was scared out of his mind, yelling for everyone to hurry up. I narrowed my eyes. A weird white pattern appeared deep in my pupils. I looked straight through the mountains and instantly locked onto the 2 figures. My Rinnegan could control puppets endlessly, but I still can't make any myself. But isn't there a real puppet master right in front of me? I pretended I had to use the bathroom and slipped away from the group. Using body flicker and flight, I zipped forward like lightning, closing the gap with Sasori and Deidara super fast. Takeda watched the direction I left in, then quietly looked away. Brother Z's intel can't be wrong, can it? We've been searching for 3 days. Deidara sat on his clay bird, looking down annoyed at the endless mountains of the land of rivers. The info came from Ju, so there's no way it's wrong. Sasori of the Red Sands voice was low and raspy amid the flying tigers. That Kuroku family has to have tons of ore. If we find them, we won't have to kiss up to Kakuzu anymore. Just as Deidara was about to raise altitude to try a new spot, a shadow suddenly covered them. The two of them snapped their heads up. Up in the sky, a figure clad in a black robe, wearing a pure white, faceless mask, stood with his back to the blinding sun, looking down at them like a god. Flying ninja, Deidara cried out in surprise. Did the old man send someone to catch me? It's not Yanren. Land now. Z yelled. From Phylio Tiger's mouth, a storm of toxic lead needles shot out, raining down on the figure in midair. But then something weird happened. Hundreds of poison needles stopped just 3 feet from the robe-clad man, like they hit an invisible wall of size, frozen in place. Then they bounced back even faster, like a shower of deadly iron rain. Deidara quickly made his giant bird dive to dodge, and tossed several white clay birds in the air. Boom! 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 A series of explosions went off overhead. As the dazzling fire and smoke faded, the black-robed man hovered there, unscathed. He even calmly raised his right hand, palm up. Here's a little greeting. I changed my mind. I scattered the chakra in my palm. The almighty pull is handy, but it's not a cool way to say hi. So, since the Rinnegan gave me power over gravity, I formed hand seals with both hands. A huge burst of blue chakra surged upwards, shooting into the sky. My robes whipped in the wild wind. What's he doing? Deidara landed on the hillside, uncertain and shaken. Watch out. Anyone who can fly is never simple. Z said in a low voice, just about to summon the third Kazekage puppet. But next second, they both froze. Deidara's jaw literally dropped,
his eyes nearly popping out.
I smiled and waved at them. If you survive, let's be friends. With that, I turned and flew into the clouds. The noon sun suddenly seemed bigger, but that's not the sun. A giant meteor streaked across the sky, trailing flames, like the Judgment Day, with a deafening sonic boom, heading straight for the art duo. In these mountains, it was over 10 kilometers away, and Team 8 and the convoy just stopped, stunned. Kurenai's voice trembled. That's a meteor, not a comet. Only Hinata, though shocked, had wild, excited admiration sparkling in her Byakugan. Deidara, run! Shan roared first. Iron Tail whipped up. Deidara leaped down the hillside and summoned the third ceiling, a storm of sand and iron, instantly forming a giant pyramid, carrying them towards the distant mountain. But the meteor was falling too fast. Shan made a quick decision, controlled the sand iron to blast a deep cave in the cliff. They hid inside, then wrapped themselves in thick layers of sand iron, forming an absolute defense black sphere. Boom! A massive explosion shook the whole mountain range, terrifying heat and shockwave, sweeping through everything like a nuke, leveling the mountain where the meteor struck in seconds. Fierce shockwaves destroyed forests and rocks along its path. Even though we were over 10 kilometers away, we could feel the ground shaking beneath us, and see a giant mushroom cloud rising in the sky. Once the dust settled, where the long chain of mountains used to be, a bottomless pit appeared, filled with dark red magma. Art! This is the ultimate form of art. Yeah, the black sphere broke down, unharmed. But a dusty Deidara jumped onto a claybird, staring at the apocalyptic scene ahead, his eyes burning with wild excitement. Amazing, not even a scratch. I appeared over his head like a ghost. Hey, do you also think beauty in a moment is true art? Deidara shouted, thrilled, feeling like he'd found a soulmate. The stronger it is, the more beautiful. Explosions really are awesome art. I nodded seriously and closed my mouth. Deidara, he's an enemy. Xian snapped, but hiding in Phylio Lake. He was already drenched in cold sweat. Join our little group. Deidara cheerfully invited. I chuckled softly. No thanks on joining. But I'm cool being friends. I've already given my greeting gift. So in return, can you share your puppet skills and the method for making human puppets? Z paused for a moment, faced with this power that could reshape the land and control gravity freely. A mysterious guy with apparent leader-level strength. Fighting head-on was clearly not wise. Sure, Z agreed, surprisingly fast, and tossed out 3 scrolls with his iron tail. I didn't reach out, just spread my fingers slightly. Almighty pull. Invisible force instantly grabbed the scrolls, holding them steady in front of me. Deidara gasped, then quickly covered his mouth. I chuckled. Opened the scrolls, skimmed through, checked them and slipped them into my robe. Thanks for the gift. See you around, my friend. I turned and flew away, leaving the 2 stunned behind. Got the Akasuna no Sasori human puppet. Secret. Now my plan finally has its key piece. Unlimited control from the Rinnegan, along with puppets that preserve bloodlines, sacrifices and jutsu. Once I unlock yin-yang shield someday, inject black rods for chakra. They'll never tire, ignoring distance limits. Each one with peak power and Rinnegan. A puppet army will be born in my hands. This is a true god army. Back home, I didn't cook or shower like usual, but walked to my room with a serious look, picked up a tightly locked box, used the key hidden in the living room, and inside was a red ceramic piggy bank. Goodbye, little pig. My voice trembled, shut my eyes and smashed it. Crash! With the sound of shattering ceramic. Coins and cash spilled everywhere. This is everything I've saved, from survivor payouts and mission rewards. Pinching pennies for years. Raising a big eater, like Shoten, isn't cheap. Without village compensation, I'd already be chewing bark. I packed up all the scattered money and the 23,000 I just earned. Stuffed it all in a bag. Headed straight for the shopping street. Boss, here's 388,300 Ryo. Buying a film camera. And spend the rest on film and developing supplies. I slammed the bag on the counter, feeling epic. Got the camera I've been dreaming of. I can't put it down. Even though I missed recording Hinata in my childhood, I'm able to capture Hanabi growing up. It's worth it. Let's go hunting and have a barbecue tonight to celebrate. Early the next morning, I woke up to a gentle voice as usual. But this time it was little Princess Hanabi. She wore a yellow and brown kimono and sat right on top of me. She was tickling my nose with her braids. Oni-chan, time to get up. The sun's already up. I grinned and pinched her little cheeks. I shooed her off the bed to wash up. Stepping out of the room, the sight in the kitchen made me catch my breath. Hinata was in a white kimono embroidered with purple and white petals. Her long hair was styled into a cute bun. She was flipping a pan like a pro. Hanabi was focused on shaping onigiri with seaweed. I grabbed my camera right away, tiptoed over to find the best angle, and snapped a super sweet sisters moment. Captured forever. They heard the shutter click, and both turned to look. Hanabi's eyes lit up. She dropped her gloves and ran over for the camera. Oni-chan, let's take a picture. After breakfast. Let's take a group photo together. I smiled and patted her head.
The whole day.
The 3 of us took the camera and visited spots around the village. By the training ground, next to the waterfall at home. We left so many photos full of laughter and joy. Passing a big tree, Hinata blushed and tugged at my sleeve. 16, can you use the transformation jutsu? I instantly got what she meant. My Byakugan flashed. 2 chubby-faced kids in rough clothes stood arm in arm under the tree. We shared a knowing smile. This made up for not having any childhood photos together. At the same time, inside the tall tower of the hidden cloud village, Sasori's will of sand was reporting to Pain. Boss, we ran into a mysterious guy in the land of rivers. He wore a pure white mask with no eye holes and could call down meteors. He used the same push and pull powers as you. He forced me to give up my puppet arts and the method for making human puppets. Pain's Rinnegan narrowed slightly. Got it. After disconnecting, he immediately called for black Zetsu and white Zetsu, ordering them to investigate. That mysterious man suspected of having the Rinnegan. In Kamui's dimension, Obito and Black Zetsu were just as shocked when they heard. Black Zetsus lived for over 1,000 years.
He knew, besides the master.
No one else could have the Rinnegan. He began guessing. This guy who controls gravity and summons meteors with white hair and a mask probably came from the moon's Otsutsuki clan, the branch from Konoha. I'll have white Zetsu clones. Keep a close eye on him, Black Zetsu said hoarsely. If he really wants to make the 6 paths of pain, he'll definitely hunt down people with special bloodlines. The strong nodded in agreement. We have to get rid of this mysterious threat fast. 3 days off flew by. I got back to my usual boring chores. Hinata seemed to notice my money problems. He even offered to cover the groceries with his pay. When I saw his teary, touched face, I couldn't help but laugh. Guess I'll just let him do it. Just then, someone on a bench in the shopping district caught my eye. It was an old man with dark skin. He was holding a bottle of booze, taking little sips. It was Tazuna, the bridge builder from the Land of Waves. The key figure in Class 7's fate twist from the original story has finally appeared. This means the Land of Waves arc is about to start.
Izayoi.
What are you looking at? Hinata asked curiously. I looked away, changed the subject with a smile. I'm thinking about the Chunin exams in over a month. Should we join? Of course. Hinata looked determined. I want to become a jonin as soon as possible. Why? It's a secret. Hinata copied me, putting her finger to her lips. She playfully winked. I froze for a second, then smirked and pinched her cheeks. Getting bold, daring to tease me now. Believe it or not, I'll drag you back to be my weapon. What's a weapon? Chushin asked blurrily. I'll tell you when we get home. Right when we were flirting, a familiar voice came. Izayoi Hinata. Long time no see. Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi with his make-out paradise walked toward us. Are you two on a date? Sasuke's words instantly made Hinata blush. Kakashi and Shoshu lazily eyed us. So this is the top student? Looks impressive. Amazing amount of chakra. No wonder Sasuke won't show off in front of you. I gave a modest smile and shot back. Kakashi, you can't catch a break. You're the legendary copy ninja, the 4th Hokage's pupil. Sasuke, they'll learn thousands of jutsu from you. Surpassing me is just a matter of time. As I said that, Kakashi's blank eyes widened, breaking out in cold sweat. What, Kakashi-sensei, is that powerful? Naruto shouted excitedly. Then why won't you even teach us how to climb trees? Sakura glared angrily. Sasuke didn't say anything, but his fiery, disdainful gaze already made Kakashi uncomfortable. Watching Kakashi surrounded and scolded by Team 7, I kept my true abilities hidden and quietly led Chushin away. Late at night, I'm lying in the bathtub. My eyes instantly turn sky blue. Pure white patterns flow in my pupils. My vision ignores obstacles, overlooking the whole village like a god. A huge invisible barrier covers the entire village. I stare at the edge of the barrier, spotting the sensing squad, right at their 6-hour shift gap. Out of money for puppet materials, I have to go borrow from the rich guy. I chuckle softly, leave a shadow clone behind, and slip out of Konoha just as the barrier fades. Head straight to Kato's mansion in the Land of Waves. He's angrily questioning. A heavily bandaged Zabuza. I'm wearing a black cloak, with a pure white mask. Walking boldly into the hall, Haku instantly flashes in front of Zabuza, holding Senbon between his fingers, ready for battle. Who's this lunatic?
Take him out.
Kato shrieks and backs away. I move forward instead, thumb aimed at Kato. A powerful force grabs his throat instantly, pulling him up into the air. Zabuza shouts angrily, his giant sword slicing wildly at me. He slashes hard, but I stay calm, raising my other hand. The spinning blade suddenly freezes mid-air, unable to move, watching their terrified expressions. I coldly say Shinra Tensei. A huge force warps the space. The whole mansion collapses. Zabuza and Haku, covered in blood, are crushed under the rubble, losing consciousness completely. I grab the terrified Kato like a chicken and use force to blow open the basement door. A blinding golden light hurts my eyes. Massive piles of high-value bills, walls stacked with gold bars, bags full of sparkling jewels. I quickly pull out a storage scroll and loot the entire treasure room. After that, I toss the half-dead Zabuza and Haku aside. My clone sneaks into the underground black market alone. I want 30 sets of sand shadow puppet materials. I slap a thick wad of bills on the black market dealer's table. I'll pick it up in 3 days. I leave the black market. I thought everything was under control, but I didn't know. My actions had already spread through the black market network and reached a very dangerous organization. Inside the tall tower of Rain Village, pouring rain outside, Black Zetsu's raspy voice echoed in the cold air. Found that mysterious guy. He's buying puppet materials on the black market. Pain stands in the shadows, expressionless, his Rinnegan eyes radiating deadly power. With a chilling gleam. Let's go, Uchiha. Obito slowly walked out from the darkness.
His Sharingan locked dead ahead.
Bring Itachi too. We'll deal with the guy daring to steal our prey. Time goes back to a day before. After leaving the black market, I broke the restraints, tossed Zabuza and Haku aside. Shadow clone. You didn't kill us, so you want the bounty? Zabuza asked weakly. Don't kid yourself. I cleaned out Cardo's treasure room. Don't need your pocket change. I looked annoyed. How much reward are you worth? 17 million ryo. That's it. Not even half of Asuma's. Zabuza just stayed silent. How could he compare to the Hokage's son? I kinda like you two idiots. I chuckled. Tossed Haku a scroll and 30 million ryo. Go to the sand village and get me all these materials. Then I'll let you go. Finished, I rolled up my pant leg and held it out to Haku. Take a bite. Your wounds will heal. Zabuza's pupils shrank. Physical healing? You're a survivor from the Uzumaki clan. I replied mockingly. No wonder you helped destroy the Whirlpool country. Your info's pretty spot on. Haku bit without hesitation. As chakra poured in, his serious injuries healed fast. Miraculously, I warned him. You only have 10 days, and then my clone carried Zabuza away. I settled Zabuza in a cave, while my main body watched Fire Country nonstop with my special eyes. Through the Tenseigan, I'm monitoring the whole Fire Nation. After robbing Sasori, I figured he'd report that I can use gravity and repulsion to their organization. Sure enough, 2 days later, Conan rode 8 paper birds into Fire Country, landed on a small hill, and transformed into a giant paper tree, blocking sensing and hiding pain. Obito Uchiha and Itachi Uchiha. Seeing the 3 scariest guys in the ninja world together, I couldn't help but curse. Damn it. Sending this many just to catch me. You sure think highly of me. The middle-aged guy at the black market who welcomed me was impaled by a tree branch. The white Zetsu clone used floating and disguised jutsus, and perfectly took his place. Now things are tricky. Even my Rinnegan can't see through these 2 infiltration abilities. Looks like only the Uzumaki's Kamizuki star eyes, awakening a sense of good and evil, can handle black Zetsu and white Zetsu. If you love lying in wait so much, then keep standing there and enjoy it. I sneered and undid my shadow clone. 3 days later, the pain trio couldn't wait anymore and retreated. Meanwhile, Haku came back on time with the materials. I generously gave them the rest of the money as reward. After that serious beating, Zabuza seemed to learn that betrayal is all about stabbing others in the back, which is the real path for rogue ninja. Once I got the materials, I didn't rush back to the ranch. Instead, I used shadow clones to handle daily tasks. Gato's wealth was beyond imagination, especially the property deeds spread all over different nations. I randomly picked a few properties to hold on to, and instantly became financially free. I even bought a clothing store, and sent a shadow clone to learn tailoring. The real me carried a storage scroll, and under endless rain, arrived at a remote mining village in the land of rivers. In front of a newly built cemetery, I locked onto my target, Kuratori Rhea. Awa and red-eyed Aomaru let the original get away, so your knockoffs will become my human puppets. I floated midair and raised a hand to block Reiga's lightning ball. Then I spread my fingers. Almighty pull. A huge invisible hand dragged Reiga into the air. He was terrified. He desperately unleashed another round of lightning. Lightning exploded all around, striking straight at me. Nice move. But I opened both hands, and the air around me compressed from the force, twisting into a green force field. With my cold voice, Shinra Tensei hit. The shockwave surged out like a raging storm. A deafening roar followed, and the pouring rain split open instantly. The cemetery and Kuratori clan below, along with Reiga's lightning, were completely pulverized by terrifying power. When the dust settled, only a huge crater was left. Reiga's bones were shattered, and he collapsed in a pool of blood, but still shielded Aomaru behind him with his last breath. "Please spare Aomaru," he begged, coughing up blood. "When you killed others, did they beg you like this?" I scoffed, and mercilessly used gravity to snatch the real thunder sword, then threw it and a clone at them together. Lightning pierced their hearts. But the item drop I expected didn't pop up, so killing doesn't improve drop rates. I frowned and started thinking, time for a new plan. If nothing else works, I guess I'll have to cause the Ninja world some trouble. After all, I really don't want guys with worse builds than me to catch up that fast. After all these years of effort, the Kuratori clan is taken care of, so these minerals are my spoils. You guys have no problem with that, right? Thunder and rain poured down. I floated and looked down at the terrified miners below. After getting a rejection, I unceremoniously took the Kurotsuchi corpses and a pile of rare minerals into my storage scroll. With these, the human puppet materials are complete. I rushed back to the land of fire, leaving a shadow clone to learn tailoring and handle the loot. My real self raced back to Konoha. Today is June 16th, my 12th birthday. At dusk, I slipped through the village barrier, returning to that familiar yard. I'm home. I pulled back the curtain. 12 candles burned in the dim light. On a fancy 5-layer cake stood 3 chibi snowmen for us. Happy birthday, big brother. Happy birthday, Izayo-kun. Hinata and Hanabi sat me down. Hanabi rested her chin on her hands, smiling as she urged me, "Make a wish." I folded my hands, closed my eyes, and said aloud, "I hope Hanabi grows up strong and as beautiful as her sister." Then I silently added in my heart, "I hope we can all live forever and stay together always." I blew out the candles. Hanabi excitedly pounced, giving me a big kiss on the cheek. Next was opening gifts. Hanabi gave me a red handmade scarf. Hinata gave me a white robe with flame patterns and a thick snowman outfit. "I have gifts for you too." I took out the flat gift box. "That cost me all my savings. Go try them on." I made these clothes myself. Minutes later, when the sisters walked out, I lost my breath. Based on my past life memories, I had sewn sailor suits. Hinata wore a white sailor shirt and a dark blue pleated skirt paired with black stockings. This outfit highlighted her amazing figure, outshining all her peers. It was pure yet dangerously charming. Hanabi wore a smaller version, with white stockings and twin tails. She was illegally cute. "You look amazing." I showered them with praise, then took out the film camera. That had cost me a fortune. We took photos that night. The flash captured warm, goofy, and even wild moments. Seeing their smiles, the 300,000 ryo was well spent. June 23rd, year 60 of Konoha. By the Naka River, fire style, great dragon fire. 2 fire dragons collided over the water. On the surface, my duel with Sasuke was heating up. Hinata was secretly taking photos. Asterisk bang, asterisk after a few rounds. Sasuke, with his Tutamo Sharingan, was sent flying by my punch, landing clumsily on the water.
He didn't get up right away.
He just stared at me in shock. That speed. It was lightning style, right? It's a technique using chakra to stimulate cells for speed. I shamelessly claimed the move. I stole from my puppet Reiga as my own original creation. Sasuke's eyes lit up, bluntly asking me to teach him. He'd been beaten into submission and became my top point grinder. I was happy to give this avenger a little push on his path. One day in late June, a hawk let out a sharp cry above. Kurenai Yuhi, our mentor, looked up at the sky. "See you at the usual spot," she said, then hurried off. The Chunin exams are starting. I smiled at Shino and Hinata. As expected, the next day, Kurenai brought 3 applications. On the way home,
I asked Hinata.
"Want to train with me and Sasuke?" "No," she shook her head, her gaze firm. "I want to ask my father for gentle fist training. I want to be a jonin soon." I was stunned. Then I understood. She wants to secure her family status, to protect Hanabi from the curse. The caged bird curse. I swore to myself to visit the Hyuga house after the test. That night, by the Uchiha bonfire, Sasuke flipped a grilled fish. Izayoi, what is your dream? My dream? I looked at the dancing flames, a smile touching my lips. I want to be with Hinata, escape the limits of mortality, and stay together forever. Sasuke's pupils shrank, stunned by such a wild goal. He went silent for a moment, his voice cold as a blade. My goal is to kill that man. I'll do whatever it takes. I patted his shoulder, with a meaningful smile. Don't worry, you'll succeed, and it won't cost your life. After all, you're my XP pack to godhood. 3 days later, the streets of Konoha were flooded with foreign ninjas. The Chunin exams hype had completely ignited the village. July 1st, 3 p.m. We arrived at the academy on time. Konoha is the host, so our intel has been checked. Shino spoke deeply, hands in his pockets. Doesn't matter, I chuckled. Intel gets outdated fast. Their files are ancient history. Stepping onto the stairs, the air whooped slightly. We wove signs simultaneously, disrupting our own chakra. It was just a second-floor illusion. The hall was packed with dazed kids. In front of the stairs, Naruto and Sasuke were blocked. Hinata's gaze shifted, stopping in the crowd, on a figure with white eyes. Najinisan is here too. Naji Hyuga walked over, bowing expressionlessly. Lady Hinata, I hope to fight you in the exam. He then glared coldly at me. So you are Izayoi, the top student of last year. You are strong, but know your place. Bloodline gaps are destiny. You and the lady have no hope. Shut up, brother Neji. Hinata's gentle eyes turned sharp, flaring an oppressive aura. Naji froze for a second, coldly saying, "Excuse me," before turning to leave. I patted Hinata's head. You looked really cool just now. Hinata blushed instantly, fidgeting with her fingers. That oppressive feeling from before is gone. Yo, page 16. Naruto's loud voice echoes over, this time for the Chunin exams. There's no way I'll lose to you. Looking at how overconfident he is, I can't help but tease him. Did Kakashi finally teach you some new jutsu? Naruto proudly rubs his nose, and then starts acting all mysterious. We just walked into the back hall. A green figure suddenly jumps down from the balcony on the second floor. Landing steadily, I'm Rock Lee. The kid with the bowl cut and thick brows stares me down. He gets into a fighting stance. I'm challenging the new rookies this year. Page 16, let's fight one-on-one. My eyes narrow slightly. The 8 gates, huh? This might be fun, but right now I turn my head. Sasuke, you go. Sasuke instantly gets it. He steps forward with a cold grin. A flash of scarlet appears in his eyes. Sharingan. Beat me first before you challenge him. Rock Lee's brows furrow. He vanishes in an instant. Whoa, that was fast. Sasuke's face changes.
He barely raises his arm
To block. But Rock Lee's insane strength sends him stumbling back. Before he can steady himself, Rock Lee plants both hands on the ground and throws a wicked low kick, knocking Sasuke straight into the air. Man, he really lives up to his reputation, Rock Lee says impressed. You can see my attacks and kind of keep up with my speed. Barely, Sasuke. He flips in the air and lands hard. His twin blades start to spin wildly. Next moment, he copies Rock Lee's earlier move exactly and kicks the stunned Lee flying. Rock Lee gets up from the ground.
His eyes go all serious.
He silently unwraps the bandages on his hands. A surge of intense chakra fills the air. I have to prove myself. Boom! A thick cloud of white smoke suddenly erupts, breaking the tense standoff. A big guy wearing the same green suit and a Jonin vest with thick eyebrows makes a flashy entrance standing on a red turtle. He grins, showing his white teeth. Now that's youth. Seeing the whole team 7 frozen in shock, I nod calmly. After our mind the guys on stage, the newbies finally realize that the flashy guy in front of them is actually the taijutsu ace famous as Kakashi's rival. Mike Guy, the exam's about to start. I point at the clock on the wall. Mike Guy smacks his thigh. He scolds Rock Lee a bit, then lets us head up to the 3rd floor. Out in the hallway, Kurane, Kakashi, and Asuma have been waiting a while. Seeing you're all here, I'm really proud of you. Kurenai walks up to us, smiling. The Chunin exams started the moment you got your application. You need your teammates' approval. And all three of you must come together to even open this door. We won't let you down. Kurenai, I smile slightly. I walk up to the door with Hinata and Chino. The heavy door slowly opens. Behind the crack, countless killing glares feel almost real and suddenly lock onto us the moment we step inside. The cozy vibe is replaced by brutal killing intent. Naruto and Sakura, their bodies froze under countless needle-like stares. They even showed a hint of fear. Dead last, are you shaking? Sasuke's cold, mocking voice actually cleared the fear in Naruto's heart. I ignored their daily bickering, walked straight to my seat with Hinata. I switched Naruto's number on purpose, so I got to sit next to Hinata just as I wanted. Meanwhile, Sasuke, behind me, had already activated his Sharingan with 2 Tomo.
His eyes were locked right on my back.
He was ready to copy my moves. To handle this crazy test, Hanabi had started practicing the 8 trigrams 32 palms. I leaned in and whispered to Hinata. The clan elders all say she's a genius. Chushin looked super proud, totally clueless that it's my chakra, like a super supplement, that quietly raised the sisters' limits. Several puffs of white smoke exploded. A meat-faced man, Ibiki Morino, oozing a dark aura, made a dramatic entrance. He skipped the chatter and just announced the exam would start inside. It instantly turned into a battlefield of geniuses. Secret jutsu, bugs, telepathy, Byakugan peeking. Every cheating trick was showing up. Chushin and I had already finished our papers, quietly chatting with secret hand signals under the desk. 45 minutes later, Ibiki threw out the high-pressure 10th question. One wrong answer and you'd be banned forever. Skipping it meant you passed. But get eliminated? The room turned dead silent. Then, students started cracking under pressure and quitting one by one. But since Sasuke sat with Naruto, Sasuke just used wire to move Naruto's hand, filling the answer sheet. Naruto was oddly calm this time. He didn't even get a chance to give his usual loud, motivational speech. Congrats, you all passed. Ibiki suddenly grinned and revealed the test was really about teamwork. Before anyone could react, Anko Mitarashi burst in through the window, with even more flair than Naruto, and announced the time for the second test. We left the school building. Shikamaru and Choji came over. The 9 rookies finally got together again. I waved generously and offered to treat everyone to barbecue. At the BBQ place, Choji and Naruto started racing to see who could eat more. But I was surprised. Hinata, who always seemed ladylike, could actually eat just as fast as them. I stared at the stack of empty plates in front of her, totally shocked. Turns out this lady can really eat. After dinner, I took out my camera and snapped a picture of our epic group, the future Hokage, a medical master, an intel chief. All connections I built up. The next day at 2 p.m., Chushin gently woke me from my nap. After washing up, I took a pair of red boxes out of my drawer, put 2 special lenses in my eyes. The shining blue and white pattern in my eyes was instantly covered up. My pupils went back to deep blue. 16, is this test dangerous? Chushin saw me hide my eye powers and got really serious. Just being careful. I looked in the mirror and saw no flaws. I smirked with a meaningful curve. If all goes well, it'll just be a warm-up.
If not,
then we're in for a tough fight. I kept imagining Orochimaru hiding in the trees somewhere. My fingers tapped my forehead protector. The game was officially on. 2:40 p.m. Outside the forest of death. The air was thick with tense excitement. Hinata, Chino, and I blended in with the students. They say it's just the 12 of us who graduated this year. Everyone else got wiped out. Minako sighed nearby. Sasuke still looked cold and proud. He leaned over to taunt me. Don't let me knock you out early. I scooted away in disgust. Are you drunk? Talking nonsense in broad daylight. Naruto started laughing with Kiba, almost falling over. Sasuke blushed and folded his arms, but fire lit up in his eyes. I suddenly sensed several cold stares. Orochimaru, disguised as a grass ninja, glared at Sasuke. And the red-haired girl, Karin, was sneaking looks at me. Hinata noticed right away. 16. Look at that girl again. She has powers just like mine. I quietly explained. Hinata instantly got it. 3 o'clock, we signed the contract. We received the Earth Scroll. As the iron gate opened, the second survival trial began. Are we going on the offensive? Hinata asked to find someone first. I activated my Tenseigan. I could see the whole forest right away. There's no way I can let someone like that fall into Orochimaru's hands. We rushed forward at full speed. We found Karin in no time. Her teammates were cursing her out, forcing her to set traps. 8 trigrams air palm. Hinata shouted. The air blast smashed one grass ninja into a tree. Blood splattered everywhere. The disgusting bugs rained down like black mist. Another teammate screamed and fell. Karin sat on the ground, powerless. Her face was pale. I squatted down and offered her my forearm. Smiling, I told a little white lie. We may have different hair colors, but our ancestors are probably from the same clan. Bite me and you'll heal. Tears welled up immediately. Karin nervously bit my arm. That moment, noble Otsutsuki blood and healing merged perfectly. A rush of supreme chakra flooded in. Her weakness faded. The bite on her arm healed. Even her nearsighted eyes improved. All at a speed you could see. My clansman, will you follow me now? I held out my hand. I will. A new gleam lit up in Karin's eyes. I sent a shadow clone to escort her out of the forest. I snickered inside. Orochimaru, you lost badly this time. I watched Karin and my clone disappear into the woods. Chushin's eyes were full of pity. 16, he's pitiful, huh? I ruffled his hair gently, smiled and said, there are just too many sad stories in this world. But for us, all we can do is protect those close to us. Chino walked back from the fallen grass ninja. Her lenses flashed cold for a second. They had the heaven scroll. Nice luck. Now we've got them both. I took the scroll and tossed it to Chino. You take care of both scrolls now. Since we've got them, why not head to the central tower? Chino looked puzzled. I glanced toward Team 7, eyes deep in thought. No rush. There's still a big headache to handle. Hinata's face changed a bit. You mean the killer with the gourd on his back? There isn't anyone more troublesome than him. I shook my head, told them to wait outside the tower. We'll go in together when I join up. I know Hinata worries about me, but he knows my strength even better. She nodded obediently, got my teammates settled. I tapped my toes lightly. My body turned into a flicker in an instant. I dashed straight towards Naruto and the others. Uchiha Sasuke, the perfect right-hand man with that Zoro-style vibe. Can't let Orochimaru get his hands on him. I'm gonna change his fate. Keep him here in the leaf for good. He'll be my go-to for top-tier unlocks. A premium XP farm, right now Team 7, is facing their darkest moment. Orochimaru, disguised as a grass ninja, right in front of them, swallowed the scroll whole. The killing intent he gave off was so real it seemed to twist the air. Sasuke turned pale as a sheet and started violently throwing up. His body shook uncontrollably. Under this shadow of death, it felt like he was back on that bloody massacre night. Damn it, I'm not scared of you. Naruto stood up trembling, quickly formed hand signs. Boom, boom, boom. Hundreds, even thousands of shadow clones instantly filled the whole forest. The smoke cleared. 300 Narutos all shouted at once. Watch me blow you away in one shot. Wind style, big breakthrough. 300 C-rank wind attacks hit at once. The roar of the wind shattered the stillness of the forest of death. Hurricane force winds ripped up giant trees. The whirlwind pulled up trees from their roots. That overwhelming force was just like a natural disaster. When the gale faded, the forest was a wreck. Naruto stood with his hands on his hips, on top of a fallen tree. He laughed out loud. See, I told you I'm awesome. That was an awesome combo move. You almost killed me with it. Orochimaru's cold voice exploded in Naruto's ear. 2 giant snakes appeared out of thin air, instantly wrapping him up tight. 5 elements seal. Orochimaru's 5 fingers wrapped with chakra, then pressed hard on Naruto's stomach. His chakra went totally haywire. Naruto screamed and was blasted away. Let Naruto go. Sasuke, lightning style. Chakra boosted his speed like crazy, and he kicked Orochimaru flying. At the same time, he sliced the snake off Naruto. Bikugen, can't you see yet? Sasuke growled under his breath. Even wind attacks like that couldn't hurt him. We're not even in the same league. Where do you think you're going? Orochimaru twisted his body, moving like a snake on two legs, closing the gap in a flash. Sasuke, I'll hold him off. Go outside and get help. Naruto looked determined and shoved Sasuke aside. The real him, with 20 or so clones left, rushed to face Orochimaru. Damn it, Sasuke clenched his teeth, but had to run back to help. That was what Orochimaru wanted, using Naruto as bait, to trap them both easily. The ground turned swampy, locking their feet in place. Two giant snakes bound them up tight. Orochimaru grinned wickedly, stretching his neck, those cold fangs coming right at Sasuke's neck. Boom! A pure white figure suddenly appeared before Sasuke. With all my strength, I slammed a heavy punch into Orochimaru's face. The powerful impact crushed his head inward, sending him flying like a cannonball. Azai, Sasuke, and Naruto burst with joy after their despair. Expressionless, I watched Orochimaru slowly stand up and coldly stated his name, the legendary Sannin. S-rank rogue Orochimaru. The boy's pupils shrank in fear. Why would such a figure be here? Konoha is truly a cradle for geniuses. Orochimaru cracked his neck, his eyes filled with greed. But I don't have time to play house. He flickered away again, faster than the Sharingan could track. But I was faster. I blocked him perfectly, with a lightning-infused kunai. I stabbed straight for his heart. Unfazed, Orochimaru spat out his sword to block. The blade grew rapidly in my vision, so I flickered and vanished. Next second, Sasuke was midair. His fire dragon engulfed Orochimaru. A substitution? Sasuke landed, Sharingan fixed on the ground. Hidden shadow snake hands. A giant snake lunged from his blind spot. Orochimaru crawled from its belly. Countless snakes swarmed in. Sasuke couldn't dodge in time. Just as they were about to bind him, my voice rang out again. Wind style, wind cutter. A transparent blade swept through, slicing the snakes in half. Before Orochimaru could breathe, from my wide sleeve, a brilliant blue-white sphere formed. Gaia energy cannon. The spinning chakra grew in my palm, then turned orange-red from the heat. With a fierce look, holding that ball of terrifying energy toward Orochimaru below, I hurled it with all my might. Boom! The explosion leveled the entire area. Towering trees turned to ash. A fire tornado soared upward, as if setting the sky ablaze. Above the forest of death, a suffocating red glow took over. Every ninja who felt that chakra turned pale with shock. What kind of monster is in this exam? Is this Izaoi's own jutsu? Sasuke and Naruto hid behind a tree, frozen in horror, watching the spinning inferno raging toward the clouds. Even breathing became difficult. I appeared silently behind them, grabbing their shoulders. I whispered, "Let's go." As we flickered away, I glanced back at the charred ground. Orochimaru was shedding his skin, crawling from his broken body, covered in slime, with cold, sinister eyes. That brat ruined my fun.
He chuckled hoarsely,
Glancing between the fire and our path. But that jutsu... It's a familiar shadow. Konoha. Is this stalled windmill finally turning? After running for miles to where Sakura was hidden, we finally stopped to breathe. Why is a Sannin targeting us? Sakura collapsed to the ground, her voice trembling. I patted Sasuke's tense shoulder. Relax. The rescue team is already here. An S-rank rogue in the village. That's the Hokage's headache, not ours. After the exam ended, Sasuke, stay in the central district. Don't go back to the compound alone. Sasuke nodded heavily, recalling that devastating strike. He couldn't help but look at me. Was that tornado your perfected lightning style? No, that's the Gaia energy cannon. I gave a playful smile. And it's just something I made while developing my ultimate art. At that moment, Team 7 looked at me, as if I were a monster. 5 days later, the second exam ended. In the central hall, the 24 remaining candidates and their Jonin mentors arrived. I saw Kakashi staring at me intently.
clearly.
He knew the truth about the fire, the third Hokage. After a speech on the meaning of war, the sickly Hayate Gecko appeared, declaring the preliminaries started. Kabuto forfeited just like the original. Names began flashing on the screen. Match 1, Dosu vs. Choji. Against the sound attacks, Choji was beaten in seconds. I leaned against the railing, eyes locked on the Sound Village leader. Despite his disguise, my Tenseigan saw his cold aura. Orochimaru snuck in after all. Soon the second match was set. Sasuke Uchiha versus Zaku. Sasuke looked back at Naruto and smiled. Naruto, I'm looking forward to our fight.
He didn't call him a loser.
That recognition stunned Naruto, making him tremble with excitement. On the field, Sasuke's Sharingan spun wildly. He moved like a phantom. Zaku tried to use his air blasts to create a sonic barrier, but Sasuke, using lightning-enhanced speed, and clones toyed with him. Fire-style fireball jutsu. A massive fireball fell from above, instantly engulfing Zaku. His teammates watched coldly, without any sympathy. As Zaku was carried off, the screen rolled again. Hinata Hyuga versus Kintsuchi. I rolled up my sleeves, took a camera from my scroll, and smiled at Hinata. Look cool. I'm filming this for Hanabi. Okay, Hinata walked down firmly. Kintsuchi looked at Hinata's long hair and expensive kimono, and her innate noble aura, feeling a sick wave of envy. I'm going to scar your face. Kin grinned and pulled out senbon. Hinata didn't say a word. Veins bulged near her temples. Want to see what true despair is? As Hayat announced the third round, Hinata moved, wrapped in blue lightning. She appeared before Kin instantly. Thwack, thwack. Chakra strikes hit her pressure points. Kin collapsed before she could scream. I kept clicking the shutter. Hinata's cold gaze was totally badass. The sound ninja were stunned, but Guy saw the truth. Cellular stimulation via lightning style. Kakashi looked at me, knowing I was behind it. In the next few rounds, Kankuro toyed with his foe. Aino and Sakura fought to a draw from exhaustion. It was a boring sight. Shikamaru outsmarted his opponent, while Minako forfeited to Neji. The biggest shock was Naruto. He made dozens of clones, roaring as they used great breakthrough. The wind pinned Kiba to the wall. The dead last finally showed his fangs. The screen lit up again. My name was there, Isaiah versus Rock Lee, the bushy-browed boy. He leaped from the stands. With Mike Guy's permission, he removed his heavy leg weights. 2 iron plates hit the floor. With a heavy thud, the ground cracked instantly. He stretched his limbs, eyes burning with fire. The 10th round officially began. Before Hayat finished speaking, Rock Lee vanished.
He appeared on my left in a flash.
A heavy kick tearing the air. I stood my ground, hands hidden in my wide sleeves. Without moving, facing that blur, I exhaled a soft breath. Wind style, great breakthrough. The air exploded beside me, blowing Lee back with brute force. In less than 3 seconds, I had predicted where he'd land. The arena fell silent.